Tuesday the 5th of December. I note that this is a public meeting that will be recorded and published on Council's website approximately 48 hours after the conclusion of the meeting and will remain on Council's website. Any audio and visual of persons making a deputation and visions of persons presenting in the gallery will be captured as part of those recordings. We also recognise that the land that we meet on has considerable natural and cultural heritage, including thousands of years of traditional ownership by Ghana. Elected members, confirmation of the minutes. What is your wish? Councillor Platten.
I'm happy to move it.
Any debate?
No.
Councillor Eaton to second.
Second, yep. No.
Debate?
No.
Councillor Platten to close? No. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against? That is carried. Thank you, elected members. There's nil adjourned business, nil chairperson's report, nil presentations, nil deputations. So we go straight to our reports of officers. 7.1, First Nations People Advisory Group, terms of reference. And there's no update from council staff. So elected members, what is your wish? Councillor Bell to move.
Yes, I'm happy to move.
Would you like to debate?
Just briefly.
Go ahead.
Just to acknowledge the work that's been done so far, all the planning, all the work that council staff have done, and to thank the former chamber and particularly thank the members of the First Advisory Group of all the work that they've done so far. It's obviously a really important initiative and an important initiative to continue doing in some form. And I look forward to what else we can achieve, working closely with state, federal government and, of course, our First Nations people in our community groups, to really address the disadvantage they obviously do suffer, that is well known, recognised, and all of that is recognised in the RAP, in the Community Capacity Strategic Plan. And it will make a big difference, I think, to outcomes for First Nations people. And obviously, I look forward to the work that will be done in further alignment with closing the gap, as I've mentioned previously. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor Bell. Councillor Eaton to second.
Happy to second. And no comment.
No debate. All right. Mayor Weir to debate or question?
Debate.
Go ahead.
Just, I also want to acknowledge that this report is an interim step towards our next part of the journey that we are making together, and sometimes that's a bit tricky, and I really just want to acknowledge that it takes a lot of patience and courage and tenacity to stay in these conversations. I also want to particularly recognise that the traditional owners, and we have had some incredible leaders and still do in our community, who are traditional owners, and also many people from other nations who make their home in Ghana. So I think that having a First Nations People's Advisory Committee does pick up not just those people who are traditional owners, but others who make their home on Ghana. Also, the fact that the three elected members, myself, Councillor Fisher and Councillor Wilkes, none of us have actually been available all at the same time during this term. And so we know that we've got more work we need to do as well. And I just want to demonstrate that we are all committed and keen to keep that going. As we've just heard from Councillor Bell, the Reconciliation Action Plan that we have as a council will certainly take us to the next level, and opportunities to work on closing the gap will be there for us. And just to reaffirm the commitment we made as a chamber earlier in the year towards the Uluru Statement from the Heart, at a time when we're in a post-referendum environment, that we still maintain and commit ourselves to those steps forward that we will be making together in the best way we possibly can.
Thank you, Mayor. Any further questions or debate? There doesn't seem to be. Councillor Bell, would you like to close? No? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against? That is carried. Thank you, elected members. 7.2, Policy Review, Externally Funded Code Amendment Policy. There is no update from council staff. Councillor Greaves.
Happy to move as written.
Would you like to debate? No. Councillor Eaton to second.
Yeah.
Debate?
No.
Is there any further questions or debate from the floor? There is not. Councillor Greaves, would you like to close debate? I will put the motion. All those in favour? And against? That is carried. Thank you, elected members. 7.3, Sustainable Curbside Service Trial. Elected members, what is your wish? There is no update from council staff. Mayor,
I'm happy to move.
Move, thank you. Would you like to debate? No. And a seconder from the floor. Councillor Eaton to second.
Yes.
Debate?
No.
No debate. Any further questions or debate from the floor? Mayor Will, would you like to close debate? Councillor Yeomans.
Yeah, can I just make just a question?
Go ahead.
Just trying to get my head over the trial, so do I have to stand? This one? Yep.
You can sit down, you can
You can
relax.
sit down. This is the Strategic Directions Committee, not the council meeting.
So with the trial, and I've seen the suburbs and the areas that we're going to target, which is fine. I'm just trying to get my head over what we're expecting people to do if we're going to put vegetable stuff in with the organics bin. So traditionally the organics has been, if I've got this wrong, just your lawn clippings and your garden clippings, that sort of thing.
And your food waste.
And we know with food waste. So
Even your dog poos.
So my question is, will that sort of information go out as part of the trial as to what the expectation is for the residents now to change their, not so much their behaviour, but most people would have a little rubbish bin in their kitchen with like a plastic bag over the top, and you'd wrap it up and you're full and you'd go to your general waste bin. So how would that sort of work now when clearly you're not going to be able to put your plastic bag in the organics bin? I wouldn't have thought. So I'm just trying to work my head around how that's all going to be circulated to the public.
At the moment, you still can put your food in the organics bins. Basically, what we're proposing for the trial areas, that's not actually undertaking straight away. What we're saying is, with the current legislation, we're proposing advocacy in the first instance, but noting that we've done the modelling on what a trial could look like. But the final point of our recommendation around continuing to promote food diversion in the current systems is a key priority for us.
Thank you, Councillor Yeomans. I'll go back to Mayor Weir. Would you like to close debate? Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I just really want to thank everyone doing the work and just reminding us as a chamber that it is the advocacy piece which is really critical at this next stage as we work towards alignment around the political cycles of legislation development. And we have an enormous opportunity, I think, as a council to demonstrate our ability to advocate with all this very excellent work that the staff have done around modelling and actually getting some of that data together in a way that I think is very easy to understand and be influential as we go forward. Because I think when I've looked at what other councils are doing, and we've seen the trial at Holdfast Bay, I think this will put Onkaparinga in a very good light as legislation starts to be developed, but it will also provide us with an opportunity to see what our education strategies and communication strategies are going to be like. So I appreciate what's ahead, and I also would urge all of us to, every opportunity we get, to be advocates and support this work, that we do that in our day-to-day exchanges, because many of us do run across people of influence in our work as elected members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against? That is carried. Thank you, elected members. 7.4, the Progress Report Community Capacity Strategy Plan 2021 to 24. There is no update from council staff. Mayor Weir, to move?
Yes, I'm happy to move. I've got a couple of questions as well.
Yes, go ahead.
One of the things I was wondering about is with the people with disabilities and carers and perhaps some of the other groups like support workers as well, are any workshops planned for those cohorts?
Through the chair, do you mean with regards to the Inclusive Communities Action Plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Separate item, but happy to answer right now.
Okay.
Would you like the answer now? Or?
Yeah, that's all right. It can come later.
Okay.
That's okay.
Do you have a further
But
question?
then you've got it on notice now. That's all right. I'll leave it at that. But I also think that we've got some opportunities in this work to do some more of that integration between this work and the other community planning that's going on. What's the best mechanism? What's working? Is that possible? Like, how are you talking to all those elements together?
Through the chair, I think a key point with the development of CCSP at the time was following on from the review and finalisation of the community plan at the time, and that will happen again this time. So Yes, the community plan obviously sets our key strategic directions, and the CCSP will fall from that.
Councillor Platten to second.
Yes, happy to
Would you like to
second.
debate?
No, thank you.
Any further questions or debate from the floor? There's no further questions. Mayor, where would you like to close? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. Thank you, elected members. 7.5, Progress Report, Inclusive Communities Action Plan. There is no update from council staff. Elected members, what is your wish? Councillor Eaton to move.
Yes, I'll move.
Would you like to debate?
No, there's nothing. It's-
Mayor Ware to second.
And the
And the
question on
question?
notice can
Yep,
now be...
go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair, the key part of any strategy development is that community engagement where appropriate, and through the attachment that we've included in this report is our proposed engagement plan. A key part of that is engaging with those with lived experience and families and carers, as well as those key stakeholders that can provide input into that piece of work. And the real purpose of the engagement is to gain a deeper understanding of their needs and aspirations and, I guess, future needs within the Inclusive Communities Action Plan. So that will be taking place next year to inform our draft plan, which will be presented to STC later next year.
And can I ask a couple more? With how are you planning to measure that participation and...
Yes, through the chair. So through the engagement plan, you can see those stakeholders that we've identified. So a key measurement will be the level of engagement through that engagement process. When we finalise the draft plan, within the draft plan currently, you may note that we have a number of measures for each particular action, and that's where we'll be capturing the measures. But a key measure of the actual engagement will be the level of engagement, the level of input, as well as then the level of involvement.
So beyond your say?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, through your say, being one avenue, but it's through our community networks, through our connections with networks and, with all those different organisations and groups, but also through the sector as well and through those connections.
Yeah. And I did notice, and the list of schools with disabilities, like Christie's Beach was the only one listed. And there's Baines Road Preschool, there's Seaford Rise Primary, Christie Downs, I can send these, Aldinga, Biendi and Cardine, who also have specialist programs for children with disabilities. So it'd be good to find a way to include them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll add them to the engagement plan.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Any further questions or debate from the floor? There doesn't seem to be. Councillor Eaton to close. I will put the motion. All those in favour? And against, that is carried. Thank you, elected members. 7.6, council and committee reporting schedule. There's no update from council staff. Elected members, what is your wish? Councillor Bell to move.
Yes, I'll move.
Councillor Platten to second.
Happy to second it.
Any questions or debate from the floor? No. Councillor Bell, would you like to close? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favour and against, that is carried. Thank you, elected members. There's nil questions on notice, nil motions on notice, nil petitions. Is there any urgent business from the floor? There is no urgent business from the floor. There is nil confidential items. I'll close the meeting at 6:44. Thank you.
Record.